one shot is all you get. Crimson Trace rifle scopes help you take aim when that shot comes. Purpose-built with maximum features, versatility, and a lifetime warranty. Crimson Trace will elevate your performance in moments that matter.
Hey y'all, it's Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Oh, look out, we're smoking.
All right, welcome back. Hey, that's weird. Typing things into my screen with Michelle, our call screener, back and forth, and I don't know what just happened. Got weird symbols out there. Weird stuff. And yes, for Jim, yes, we'll switch him to that 3:30 hour. Yes, exactly right. Thank you, sir. Let's see, 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. Yes, it's live radio. You never know what's going to happen. I'm Tom Gresham. If you want to know more about what we're doing, check it out, guntalk.com. You can also look for Gun Talk or Gun Talk Media on Facebook. Lots of things going on there. We have lots and lots of live videos, reports, tests of cool new guns, reports of things going on. Also, of course, on, let's see, Roku, Amazon Fire, oh gosh, iTunes, pretty much anywhere where you can see videos online. YouTube, of course. We have thousands and thousands of videos on YouTube. So a lot of things going on. If you'd like to join us, if there's something on your mind, or if you've just stumbled upon this show and you went, ooh, what did he just say? Show's called Gun Talk? Well, we got to do something about guns. We need to have some common sense gun laws. Cool. Call me and explain to me what that is. No. It's not that kind of show. I'm not going to shout you down, cut you off. I'll give you your say. I will ask questions and ask you to support your position. Seems fair. I'll support my position. Cool. All right. 866-TALK-GUN or just call Tom Talk Gun. We talk about this a lot. I created this thing called the Truth Squad some 20 plus years ago. The idea was very simple, to try to get volunteers who would say, I will write letters to the editor. This was really almost before internet days. I will write letters to the editor to challenge the misinformation that's out there. And I wanted to get 100 people in the country. I wanted to get 2 per state. Truth Squad list is now at roughly 350,000 people. What's it all about? It's about when you see something, say something. In this case, when you see something that's wrong, we don't just shrug it off and walk on by and go, it's just the way it is. You know, our motto is, a lie left unchallenged becomes the truth. Think about it. If there's only one viewpoint being put out there, people tend to believe it. It's the big lie theory, right? But if we challenge it every single time, whether it's in the media or one-on-one or from some company out there, you're not going to win them all, but you might win some. And when we win, it's invigorating. It's exciting. And joining me right now is a friend of mine, Liston Matthews, comes out of Tennessee with a great story. Hey, Liston, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, Tom. How about you?
Excellent. Okay, first of all, we got to tell people what you do. You're blogging. You're writing about guns and gun things, right?
That's right. That's correct, yes.
Okay, how can they find your writings and what you're up to?
Okay, my blog is at goodhillpress.com, or just Google the 3 words, Good Hill Press.
Okay, Good Hill Press. All right, so tell us the story here, because you adopted the no shrug policy. What happened?
Well, when we moved to Cookeville, Tennessee, about a year ago, we were, of course, wanting to get a local bank. And when I was in Walmart, I saw that FSMD had a branch there in the Walmart, like you see in a lot of Walmarts around the country.
Right.
And as I got close to the door, I saw a sign up there that said, it was the gunbuster sign, no guns allowed. So I thought, okay, well, this is not where we're going to be banking, you know.
Right.
And you know, when a person is moving, you have a lot of things that keeps you pretty busy.
Right.
So we went ahead and we found a bank account at another good bank in the local area, no signs up, and so very happy with them. But, you know, every time I would walk by that bank in the Walmart, I'd see that sign, and it would just irritate me a little bit.
Right.
So I, on June the 6th this year, sat down and wrote a letter to the CEO of this FSMB bank. And, I tried to be courteous. But one thing I said is that their policy creates a risk-free workplace for the armed felon, and I guess something resonated with them because I got just a day or two later, I got a reply that said, "Shortly, we will be removing the sign and following Walmart's lead. Bottom line, we will comply with whatever standard they require since we are inside the Walmart. Thanks for your input." So 1 week to the day later, I went in there and I took another picture. I think it's always good to document what you're doing. And so
Right.
I took a picture of the Gunbuster sign, as well as they had no hats, no video, no smoking, no vaping, etc. But a week later, they had taken down the Gunbuster sign. The rest of the signs were still there, but that one was noticeably missing.
Wow. Did you respond back and like give him a thank you and attaboy on the deal?
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, I emailed them back and said thanks a lot, and I actually, I posted this on the blog, so I sent them the link to my blog post about it, and very nice of them to do that.
That really was. What made you? I mean, look, it takes extra effort to do this. It's easy just to go, well, that's just the way it is. I'll go somewhere else. But you did that, but you also turned around and went back. What made you do that? What made you go back and contact him?
I don't know. It's just you just get irritated, and if you do nothing, then they win by default. The other side wins by default. So it was something that I could do that didn't require a lot of effort, a little effort, but not a whole lot of effort. And
right.
I said, okay, I'll do this and just see what happens. I've done the same thing in other places before and not had the good results that I had there. So you don't bat 1,000 on this.
Right. No, you don't win all of them, but if you don't engage, you lose all of them. That's
right. That's exactly right.
Interesting. Now, have you ever done that for anybody else, or just basically challenged the misstatements or this kind of thing?
Well, believe it or not, many years ago, back when we were doing snail mail, I sent a similar letter to Lowe's, and they wrote me back that they were taking their Gunbuster signs down. Now, they never actually said because of your letter, but they did take them down, and so you can go into Lowe's now and take your gun and your dog.
I remember that was almost, I got to call that 20 years ago when that happened. I was talking about it on the radio, and we got a lot of people to send letters to Lowe's hardware stores and just say, all right, I think, and I want to say they are out of Texas. I may be wrong.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. And, and it's a national chain if you don't have it in your area, and I remember lots of people writing them and saying, love your store, but can't go there anymore.
Yeah.
And it didn't take, I want to say remember, you're right. This was back in snail mail days. We were not sending email much back then. But I want to say that it was probably 4 to 6 weeks. It didn't take very long for them to take the signs down.
Yeah.
Now, different time, different place, all of that. And it's more difficult. And, of course, you got Walmart trying to play it both ways now. They're not putting up no gun signs, and they're not even saying you can't carry in Walmart. What they're saying is we would request that you don't open carry, and they're leaving concealed carry alone. So they're trying to, and I know what's going on, Liston, and you've followed this enough to know, I think what they're trying to do is get the gun ban lobby off their backs, because they've got the Giffords and the Bloombergs and the Shannon Watts beating on them from the corporate side. And frankly, from the stockholder side, and these anti-gun people, they will go to stock analysts and try to get stock prices driven down on the basis of this stuff. So some of these companies say, look, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put out this statement. We're not actually going to require anybody to not bring their guns in because it's not been a problem anyway. But if we make this statement, will you go away? And, of course, these guys, the gun ban folks, say, well, yeah, we'll go away because we will be able to do a high five and get media attention that we have won and we have beaten back the evil gun lobby when they've actually done nothing. But it is, I don't know, I would love to get your take. It is a bit of a loss in the culture war battle, though, is it not?
Well, yeah, and what was disturbing to me, I found out recently as I was looking at this Walmart thing, where they requested that people no longer open carry in the Walmarts.
Right.
I found out from the Tennessee Firearms Association that they actually were charter members of this Bloomberg group that wants to go above and beyond what the law says as far as purchasing firearms from them.
You're correct. They were and changing their policies so that you can't buy any gun until you're 21, even though it's legal to buy a long gun at age 18.
Right.
Again, and I'm telling you, what's happening is the Bloomberg folks are going in and talking to them on a corporate level, a CEO level, and basically berating them or beating them at this. And I don't know if we, gun owners, the 100 million of us, have anybody going in on a corporate level and meeting with these folks on the CEO to CEO level. I don't know, but I know it's happening on the gun ban side. The gun ban lobby is working that angle. And I'm glad you mentioned that because, yes, Walmart signed on to this, I don't know what you'd call it.
Okay, I have it right here. It's the Responsible Firearm Retailer Partnership.
Ah, right. When, in fact, all they have to do is go refer to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, which has an awful lot of programs for responsible gun sellers, and they have programs like Don't Lie for the Other Guy. They have education programs for people who work in gun stores or in gun departments on how to identify straw purchases and what to do and all of that. We already have that. We be gun guys, the gun industry, we have safe gun ownership programs in place, but sometimes it's just hard to get credit for doing the right thing. My old definition of public relations is doing good and getting credit for it. We do the good, but often we don't get credit for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, look, congratulations and a big old attaboy, Liston. I appreciate what you did there. We just need to do that times 100 million. And because if every one of us speaks up every single time, because you know what happens? They're sitting there thinking, well, we didn't hear any pushback from anybody. Nobody seems to care, so it's not a big deal. So there you go.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Liston. Appreciate that. Liston Matthews, check it out at goodhillpress.com. 866-TALK-GUN. We are open lines. What have you been shooting? Been buying anything? And do you have any thoughts on the whole idea of maybe switching from a semi-auto to a revolver for your everyday carry gun?
For 25 years, Crimson Trace has led the industry in laser and light technology and customer service. Now, Crimson Trace is proud to offer electronic sights and rifle scopes for tactical, target, and hunting applications, with the same Crimson Trace offer of free batteries for life on all products. The new rifle scope line is also backed by an unconditional lifetime warranty from the brand that you have trusted for over 2 decades. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
But they'll never take our freedom!
Hi, this is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Have you ever heard about a gun giveaway but thought, I live in a state where I just can't win that stuff? California! Well, visit guntalk.com/win to enter the Legal Everywhere giveaway presented by Timney Triggers. One grand prize winner receives more than $7,300 in prizes, including 2 handguns, triggers, holster packages, tactical gear, optics, and more. The best part? Residents of all 50 states can enter. Prizes from Axion Optics, Colt, Crossbreed Holsters, DeSantis, Proper, Timney Triggers, and Walther. Enter now through November 1st at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, They allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Smith & Wesson announces a new rebate for the popular M&P 9 Shield and M&P 380 Shield EZ pistols. Qualifying purchases made between October 14th and December 8th are eligible for a $50 prepaid card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit smith-wesson.com/shield 2019 for complete details. More than 3 million people have chosen the M&P Shield family of pistols for their personal protection needs. Shouldn't you?
We're going to have an update on this. There's a gun rights rally slated for Washington, D.C., November 2nd? Yeah, November 2nd. Interesting. So we'll get that update. It looks like people are signing up. Going to be there. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I'll be out in the mountains. I already had my deer hunt all set up, and this was put together on fairly short notice. Pretty cool. So let's see. Oh, you know what? I tell people, look, check out my advice and then give me a call back with a range report. Well, Benny called during the first hour. He's called back on line 3. Hey, Benny, you got an update for us? What happened here?
You were 100% correct on that camp.
Yeah.
I took my screwdriver and moved it to the extreme, like you said. Took it to the extreme.
Right.
And so it's canted about 30 degrees at most, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still at the 1230 position.
Okay.
And as soon as I did that, it sort of kicked out the back end of the magazine well. It kicked it out a little bit.
Right.
But drew everything else in closer. And I'm able to get the web of my hand up under that beaver tail just perfectly. And
wow.
Now, grant you, it doesn't help that I put on 25 pounds in the past few months, but, appendix carry, I should be a little thinner for that.
Well, that's okay. That's an issue that you can address if you choose to. But I'm just glad that I got lucky on this deal. Let me back up. For those who didn't hear, you're carrying appendix style, and the problem was when you grabbed the pistol, you couldn't get your hand high up on the grip. Basically get the web jammed up under the beaver tail, which is what you want, and you're just having trouble with that. And I suggested that you change the cant, which is the tilt of the holster, have it roll back so that it basically made the grip easier for you to grab. And fortunately, a lot of holsters today are easy to adjust for cant. Now, do you think you're going to keep it in that? I mean, you went all the way. You're going to tinker with maybe some mid position, see what works for you?
No, I'm going to keep it right where it is. It's perfect. I'm still having to reach straight down, but when I reach straight down, that web is going right where it's supposed to go. My knuckle is flowing to the left side of the handgun. Not a problem.
Well, that's excellent. I got lucky.
Well, I don't know if it's luck or wisdom. I mean, you have been doing this for a little while.
Just a little bit. Yeah, exactly. And it is interesting how just a little bit of change can make a real difference. I mentioned earlier, I switched. I'm wearing an outside the waistband holster, and it kicked the pistol, if you will, the grip out just a little bit, if you will, the muzzle tilted into the body just slightly, ever so slightly. But when I take my grip on the pistol and come out with it, the barrel, shooting right-handed, is actually pointing to the left a little bit. The gun has shifted in my hands and so I have to make a little bit of a change when I do my grip, kind of kick my right elbow out just a little bit, and now when I come out of the holster and come out on target, the sights are lined up right on there. But it's not a lot. In your case, you didn't really change that a lot. When you look at it, you go, that doesn't seem to be a lot, but it feels like a lot.
Right, exactly. It's not a whole bunch of change. I guess by moving that, it moved it half an inch, maybe an inch at most.
Right.
And that's all it took to make all the difference in the world.
Well, I'm so glad that worked out for you. Now, my suggestion is going to be, okay, it's in a different position somewhat. It's going to feel a little bit differently. What you need to do is groove that to where everything feels good and comfortable with a completely unloaded gun and in a room with absolutely no ammo in it. You need to do a 100 to 200 slow motion draws. Do the first 20 of them slow, and then let it speed up about 10, 20% each time until you're doing it quick. But do not do it fast. Everybody wants to do it fast at first. What you're trying to do is groove that muscle memory or whatever you want to call it, so that when you grab the gun, your hand is in the right place. But if you can do 200 draws like that, it's all going to be good. So that's your next instruction, okay?
Well, that'll give me something to do until the after show podcast tomorrow.
I love it. Benny, thank you so much. I appreciate your call, sir. Oh, gosh, it does look like it's going to be Benny Day today. Line one, another Benny is in Bossier City, Louisiana. Hello, Benny.
Hello, Tom. Listen,
yes,
I need your help on something.
Okay.
I have almost gone blind on the internet and other such search engines. I'm trying to find an inside the belt right hand cross draw holster to fit my micro Springfield Micro 45 automatic. Because let's face it. If you've got a standard holster and you're right-handed, okay, you're going to carry it somewhere around your.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm almost out of time here. Let me just throw this out. If you're talking cross draw, you're going to reach across your body, and it's going to be basically on your left side. You're drawing. Just use a regular appendix carry holster and swing it all the way around to your left side. Now you're doing cross draw across the body, and then, like I said earlier, work the cant, change the tilt on your holster so that it works for you. But I think an IWB, an appendix carry holster, set up for appendix, but actually you keep rotating it around, put it basically almost on your left hip or somewhere in there if you like cross draw. I'm not sure why, but if you like cross draw, that would work. Not a fan of cross draw. You got to be really careful about where the muzzle moves, because you don't want to be sweeping people. You don't want to have a sideways motion when you come out. Hey, when we come back, what's going on in gun rights? We have the news right here on Gun Talk.
A girl can't go wrong with something in basic black, like an AR-15.
Some things never go out of style, like Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
Hey, welcome back. Tom Gresham here. If you want to join us, it's pretty darn easy. Just pick up the phone and dial Tom. That's me. Tom Talk Gun. Couldn't be easier than that. And we're open lines if you'd like to talk about your guns, some other guns you shouldn't have gotten rid of, or, if you're just thinking, maybe I ought to buy a gun. Let's talk about it, because I will tell you it's not right for everybody. There are some folks I tell, probably in your circumstances, your situation, maybe not. But we'll talk about it. If you'd like to join us here, again, just call Tom Talk Gun. Over the last 25 years, state after state after state has passed some form of concealed carry law. We often call them shall issue laws. That is, trying to get rid of the discretion where someone can deny you the ability to get your permit based on something. The shall issue concept is basically, if you meet the criteria, you get the permit. Nobody can exercise discretion, because with discretion, of course, comes rampant abuse. Out of North Carolina, we have a story that really touches on a lot of those things. We're joined right now by Paul Vallone. He is the president of Grassroots North Carolina. Paul, what's the story?
Well, thanks for having me, Tom. Basically, we've had a sheriff of Mecklenburg County, home of Charlotte, the most populous county in the state, who's trying to sandbag, that's the word used by a judge, by the way, sandbag concealed handgun applicants by not telling them the reasons for denying their applications, which is, by the way, required by law, and for denying permits for statutorily impermissible reasons. Now, unsurprisingly, the district court actually upheld the sheriff in denying the permit. but fortunately some savvy appellate court judges, in particular Rich Deitz, who we sort of have high hopes for, he determined that the sheriff had violated the applicant's due process rights, and he actually reversed the lower court ruling.
There's some lessons in this. First of all, you have a sheriff who basically just says, I'll do whatever I want to do, even if it's not consistent with the law. And the only way that you can challenge that is to take him to court. In this case, had to go through the lower court and then work its way to an appeals court, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It actually comes as no surprise that the Mecklenburg County Sheriff, Gary McFadden, would disobey the law in denying concealed handgun permits. This case is actually symptomatic of a larger problem. You know, Tom, you would think that you wouldn't have to force a sheriff to obey the law, right?
Yeah.
But that's exactly the problem we're having here in North Carolina. As you correctly noted, we passed a Florida-style shall-issue concealed handgun law back in 1995. It says very clearly what is required for the permit. Yet over the years, we've had to stop sheriffs from doing things not in the law, like, for example, requiring notarized character affidavits with applications, requiring extra background checks and fees from the local clerk of court, doing employment verification checks where they actually call your employer to. Wouldn't that be nice when you're applying for a concealed handgun permit?
Right. Well, that's an intimidation. That's an intimidation tactic, you know, and it points out. There's a lot of lessons from this. One of the things I'm thinking of is it points out the vital importance of having a strong and active state gun rights group.
Hallelujah! And actually, we have been able to reverse some of these and limit the abuses of sheriffs over the years on things like charging extra fees. We've actually passed a number of pieces of legislation that have at least started to bring the sheriffs back into line, but as this case, you know, demonstrates, we aren't entirely there yet.
There was something else in this case that really got my attention, and that was the sheriff going back and contacting the VA, the Veterans Administration, about this veteran and using things in his medical file, which were not actually, wouldn't disqualify him, but treating them as though they would. And this is kind of something we have seen. This is the, if you will, the intersection of the abuses at the VA and the abuses of those who issue permits, right?
Absolutely right. And as you correctly noted, the popular one is veterans who have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Right. We've had a number of denials there, even though under federal law, PTSD by itself is not a disqualifying thing. Obama's efforts to the contrary,
right,
you know, a few years back, and I guess the VA is still reporting PTSD people to NICS, are they not?
I think they are, and as you say, it's not disqualifying, but in this case, the sheriff used that as part of his justification to deny the concealed carry permit. And then I love the fact you point out, not only denying it, but then refusing to tell him why he's denied it. How are you going to appeal it if you don't know?
We have, unfortunately, something I've been trying to change for a number of years, but have not been able to get enacted into law. Back in 95, they put in language that said you cannot have a physical or mental infirmity that prevents the safe handling of a handgun, whatever that means.
Right.
And unfortunately, sheriffs have absolutely no qualifications to determine that. And so they are using that in many cases to improperly deny permits. And that's something we need to restrict. But unfortunately, we're fighting a very powerful lobby. The North Carolina Sheriff's Association is very powerful, and even ostensibly pro-gun legislators tend to listen to their sheriff, and if the sheriff says, well, we need this, you know, this or that law, they tend to go with the sheriff.
Well, you know, I mean, it's kind of a long-term approach, but it may be you just start working and say, okay, if you're going to run for sheriff, we need to know where you are on this issue. Because,
right.
And if you're not right on this issue, we're going to come to that county and we're going to spend money and shoe leather, and we're going to show up, and we're going to speak up, and we're going to be heard, and we're going to let people know that you are not a strong Second Amendment person. And then the other sheriffs may start to get that idea, and then the Sheriff's Association, I mean, and this is a long-term approach, I understand that, you know, but in the short term, like you say, if you could possibly get this through the legislature and get this thing corrected, I don't know. I mean, and the thing is, Paul, you know the political landscape out there. You know how this stuff works. Sometimes there are avenues you go, well, we can make this happen, and there are some of the other ones you go, man, that's going to be a battle.
Yeah, you got that right. And we do a lot of that sort of election action. We actually have a political action committee, the GRC Political Victory Fund, that gets active in sheriff's races and state legislators and even congressional races. And the problem we're having here is that we are the focus of a number of anti-gun efforts, not the least of which is Eric Holder. Fast and Furious infamy.
What's
Eric
he doing?
Holder has a program going to sue till they're blue, and basically suing to get redistricting until they favor Democrats. And so we've had things here in North Carolina like McFadden. This particular sheriff is one of 5 sheriffs, anti-gun Democrats, who were elected in major counties in the last election. And they're doing things like right now, like ignoring ICE detainers for illegal aliens and a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a purple state, and we're ground zero for a lot of political fighting that's going to be going on through the 2020 elections.
You know, and if you're not plugged into the political world, when they talk about redistricting, your eyes glaze over and you switch the channel. But that is essential to what happens. It changes the makeup of the legislature and changes who gets elected sheriff. Paul, let people know where they can find out more about Grassroots North Carolina.
Yeah, we hope they'll check us out at grnc.org, and there you can find information for our political action committee. I hope they'll donate because the 2020 elections are for pretty much all the marbles. grnc.org.
Thanks so much. And look, feel free, anytime something's going on, give us a call. We'll get you back on here, okay?
Absolutely, sir. I thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. All right, open lines, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. What? Paraphrase the common commercial. What's in your holster?
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
It's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. I'm Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. When someone says we don't need that kind of gun, remind them the Founding Fathers determined what rights our Constitution should protect. There's a world of difference between rights and needs. It is not the function of government to tell us what we need or what we don't. Certainly no one needs an assault rifle or a Saturday Night Special, or for that matter, no one needs a Corvette with a high-capacity horsepower engine capable of speeds to 150 miles per hour. But in the hands of honest, responsible individuals, we have the right of choice. We have the right to read books others don't like. We have the right to listen to any radio program we choose. We have the right to dress the way we want to. We also have the right to own firearms of our choice. So the next time someone tells you, you don't need something, tell them it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Join the Second Amendment Foundation today so that this message and our Bill of Rights might live. Call 425-454-7012. That's 425-454-7012.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Why do hunters and shooters love the Ruger American Rifle? With right-handed and left-handed versions, all-weather, Magnum, Compact, Predator, Ranch, and Scope package options, there's a Ruger American for everyone. Lightweight with an adjustable trigger and minute of angle accuracy, Ruger American rifles pack in the features. Is the Ruger American the best rifle on the market? See for yourself at your local retailer or at Ruger.com. That's Ruger.com.
not surprising, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law that will make the state the first to allow employers, co-workers, and teachers to seek gun violence restraining orders against other people. People with basically no training in this, people you may come in contact with, can call and say, you know, you ought to go take that guy's guns away. He makes me nervous. He's different. He's odd. He supports the Second Amendment. He has a Gadsden flag on his bumper sticker, on his bumper back there. He says the Pledge of Allegiance. He has an American flag in his front yard. Who knows why they might call? But they call and the police show up with a SWAT team with guns pointed at you to take your guns away. Kind of brings me to going circling back to the thing in Dallas. We had the law enforcement officer who shot the woman through the window of her house, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're called to do a welfare check on this lady because the neighbor said, hey, her door's open. Could you guys go check on her, make sure she's okay? Cops show up, start sneaking around, and that's the only word for it, sneaking around the outside. They don't go to the door. They don't ring the bell. And then this, you probably have seen the body cam video. Very disturbing. Officer right outside of her house with a flashlight and his gun out. The lady hears somebody outside her house at 2 o'clock in the morning, does the normal thing, goes to investigate. She has a gun in her hand. Officer screams, drop the gun, show me your hands. Figure, which one am I supposed to do? Bang, bang. You didn't even have time to do anything. He killed her. He's now been charged with murder. He's resigned. There's something disturbing going on here, and it makes people uncomfortable when I talk about it, because we support the police. We do, but not without some form of analysis. And what happens is the police always say, well, he was in fear for his life. Good shoot. I'm sorry, being afraid is not good enough. Being afraid is not a good enough reason. I feared for my life. Sorry. No. You created the situation. If you go create the situation, if you or I go create the situation, and then we claim we were in fear for our life, that's not going to be a pass for us, nor should it be for cops. Well, he was in fear for his life. And the juries go, yep, good. Go and sin no more. I don't think you want me on that jury. Part of it is this, and somebody brought this up last week, and it's a very interesting idea. Part of it is that in days gone by, a lot of people who joined the police departments had a background in guns and shooting. That is very much not the case these days. A lot of folks who join the police departments have no background in guns and shooting. They have no familiarity with them, and they have no frame of reference of good, honest people having guns and having guns for self-defense. And the logic of going to the window to see what that noise is outside with a gun in your hand. And that's a perfectly legitimate and rational and reasonable thing for this lady to have done. For them, it's gun equals I will shoot you. Seriously. In a lot of their training, the command to draw and shoot is someone yells, gun. We have to look at the training our police officers are getting. We have to make sure they understand that good people have guns, and seeing a gun is not a reason to shoot someone. If it was, then we would shoot all the police officers we see because they're all wearing guns and we can see them. That makes no sense. And it makes no sense for them to think seeing a gun means they get to shoot. Being in fear for your life, not good enough. All right, a couple of small things to fit into a small break here. One, I went out and got a roll of yellow tape. And I cut a small piece of it off, and I put it on the steering wheel right in the center of my truck. Now, why would I do that? It's to keep me in condition yellow. Jeff Cooper's color code. White is when you're at home with the doors locked and you're safe and not worried about things. The moment you step out of your door, you should move into condition yellow, which means you're simply aware of things. It is so easy to get into your vehicle, your car, your truck, and start driving around and being clueless, talking on your phone, listening to the radio, not even being aware of your surroundings. We see it all the time with people driving. Just my little personal reminder, when I go out and sit in my truck, I see that little piece of yellow. And it reminds me, get your head up, pay attention. As my wife calls it, be here now. She always says, nobody's actually where they are. They may be with you, but they're on their phone. They're texting. They're checking emails. They're doing this or that. They're not actually with you. And a lot of people in their cars are not actually in their cars. They're not actually driving. Here's the deal. Here's my attitude. When you are driving, you have one job. One job only, one goal only. That's to get to where you're going safely. It does not mean to get there on time. That falls behind safety. It certainly does not mean to drive and talk on the phone, or to drive and check messages, or to drive and answer the phone. You only have one job. It's to get there safely. Okay? Little strip of yellow tape, just my reminder. Okay, simple as that. All right, I also need some help. We mentioned earlier revolvers, and I talked about shot loads. I have some shot loads that I've shot out of, the CCI shot loads out of a .357 Magnum revolver. Then it occurred to me, I've never shot those out of a rifle, a lever action rifle, and they have them in 44 and 38/357. So I need a range report for anybody who's ever done that, shot either the 44 or the .357 shot loads out of a rifle. Do they feed? That's one question, is will they feed from your tubular magazine? Because they've got kind of a sharp edge on the plastic capsule that holds the shot. And also, how does it work in terms of maybe range, distance? I mean, honestly, out of a revolver, effective range on a snake or maybe a bird might be 10 feet, not yards, feet, 3 yards. And you know, yeah, you could use them on snakes, but I was also thinking, if you were in a hunting camp, and sometimes in hunting camps there'll be a grouse or something that might taste really good for dinner that night. You don't want to use your big hunting rifle. But if you had a shot load, I don't know, these are the kind of weird things I think of. Is, you know, okay, what if you had a shot load and you could have your lever action and you could switch the load out, and these are the games we play. You know, at its core, you know what it really is? We're always trying to find rationalization for getting another gun. So I've been looking, and you know, I've been talking about it. I got the 4570s, but I'm kind of looking at a lever action in a handgun cartridge. And that would be either .357, 44, or 45. So, thinking, I don't know of anybody making commercial shot loads for a 45, although there may be. If there are, let me know. But I'm thinking 44 or .357. I already have my .357 revolver I wear a lot, so maybe get a lever action for that. Anyway, I'm looking for your range report. If you have shot loads out of a lever action rifle, call me and let me know how that worked out for you. Our number here is 866-TALK-GUN, okay? Fair enough. Oh, yeah, don't forget to run over to guntalk.com/win for this incredible giveaway we have going on now. It's legal in all 50 states. guntalk.com/win.